All right, super advanced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu pistol disarm. As we're here, I'm drawing this in, and then we're here. When people practice pistol disarms, there's a school of thought, and I'm not going to say what system this comes from, but there's a school of thought that you should take your finger and you should wrap it like this. And it's for safety purposes, meaning like when you put your finger directly in this fashion, just like so, what happens is if you are truly wrestling with this as violent as a real scenario would be, the likelihood that your finger will get caught and it will break is high. The issue with this is that the muscular strength in a grip when you do this is an extreme level versus when you're like this. Okay, so when I'm holding like this and I'm trying to pull the trigger at the time that I want to, what happens is I'm only squeezing with these three fingers, my palm, that type of thing. And so what happens is if he grabs the front of this and manipulates it, it's really difficult for me to hold this in position. Whereas if I go like that and he grabs that, it's a little bit easier for me to hold that because I'm actually not doing anything except squeezing like that really, really hard. So what happens is if you're not careful, you will then lose confidence in techniques that actually work, but it's because of your training that you're losing confidence. So you go like this, and then he tries to manipulate it, and I go like this, and now what happens is it goes, see, that's bullshit. When in reality, when I went like this and he grabbed it, there was no way for me to hold on to that. And so a lot of techniques kind of go away and then they use that as a justification to do whatever. So all I'm saying is just be careful. I would just practice control. If you don't have the ability to practice control, then you shouldn't be doing things at full speed anyways. So practice and drill in an isolated fashion more, and then get down to those techniques. Also, to overcome that, you can just transition to a different training tool, such as the red guns from Platinum Combatives. So as you can see, the difference is, one, they're red, so there's a little bit of a difference here, but it's a little wiggly like this, right? So what happens is if my finger gets caught in there, I have a little bit more flex than in that position. You could still screw yourself up with these types of training tools, but the thing is that as you go into the training environment, you have the ability to utilize different training aids for different purposes. Once again, I truly believe that if you don't have the ability to control your technique, then you shouldn't be going full force anyways. It is a professional thing. It has nothing to do with me not believing that live resistance is a good tool. The other thing that we can talk about is side angles, right? So what happens is, say I'm pumping gas or I'm doing something and he's drawing a pistol and he's telling me that he has a pistol and I'm supposed to defend as he brings the pistol close to me and that type of thing. In these scenarios, you have the ability to teach or to work on techniques where your elbow is right on top and you're sliding in and you're breaking their arm. If it's in front, you're sliding to the side and you're stripping this crap out. There's a question of distance. In the distance thing, I just tell people to ignore that. So what happens is if I'm here and he's at a distance and he's telling me to do something and I'm pumping gas or I'm on my phone, the thing is that I would, even if I know that he has something there, I would almost walk away or I would almost completely ignore them, to the point where if they were going to shoot me at that distance, they would have. If I can annoy him enough, he's gonna walk up to me and he's gonna bounce it off my head. I'll be like, oh fuck, that's a gun, why you, what? And now I am back in the scenario, but you'll notice that that scenario is back in the position where it's in my chest, okay? So it's not that side angles are not important. It's just the fact that I believe that you should find a way to present yourself as scared in the environment that it makes sense, right? So like if he pulls a pistol on the side of me and I'm so calm and cool that I'm gonna just do this and not move, what happens is it's not as realistic as me going, what do you want? Right? Like I'm looking at him at this point. That's the gun. That's what I'm afraid of. He's the asshole that's here. And now I'm back to facing this here, almost cowering away to where I'm going around something and he's like chasing me and going, no, fucker, come back here. And then in turn, because he's close to me, I can strip this out and be like, oh, you fucked up. If you're enjoying this video, I wanted to take a second to talk about EliteU.com, where you'll be able to find early access to all of our YouTube content, as well as exclusive interviews and access to mentors. And now back to the video. That takes me into anything that's from behind, okay? So like if he's behind me and he goes, I have a gun, okay? And I'm just like, what do you, oh, fuck. Now what happens is we're here. You get people that are like, well, they're gonna just shoot you. No, they're not. If they were gonna shoot you, they would have shot you. And the likelihood that you would believe someone when they said that I have a gun and not turn around is very small, okay? So unless it's a law enforcement officer that came up behind you and you knew that the pistol was coming up, then what happens is that I don't really see many scenarios where you would just chill and be like, oh yeah, he has a gun. Okay, so like the thing is that what that does is the mindset draws you into being able to focus on everything that's at the front and work on skill sets like talking, reading body language, understanding what pistol's in front of you, that type of thing. Those are more important things than trying to have a pistol disarm from all these weird ass angles. Okay, so some people are going to agree with me, some people aren't going to agree with me, but the thing is that I have found that people cannot remember under stress a whole bunch of different techniques. And the more angles that you give them, the more likelihood that under stress, they are going to just jumble them all together and then fumble fuck the whole technique. So the thing is that we focus on up front, and then we focus on when they draw it out of either a holster that's appendix or maybe one that's on a 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock hip position. All right, so what we're doing here is Jimmy has a shirt gun. You can do this with sim rounds if you want to, or live rounds if you're really good.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Hey everybody, Josh here, editor at EliteU. When Mike said use live rounds, he didn't mean that. It was just a joke. Please don't demonetize us.
All right, so what happens is we're here. He's gonna place this up against my chest. My hands are gonna be right where we were. I'm gonna move. He's gonna pull the trigger. If I don't move fast enough, he's gonna pull the trigger and you're gonna see that hit my black shirt. Is that what's in? All right, so we're gonna be here. You ready? Camera guy ready? No? Good? All right. All right. And we're there. Wow. All right, so we're gonna do that again. And we're there. Oh, my hands are here. This is Steven Seagal. All right, so I'm not him. And then we're there. I think that this has to. All right, draw and then shoot me as soon as I move. So this is just simulating the pistols coming out. We have a distance, mainly because you want to be able to see it off of the chest. We did it where it was right on my chest, and even when I fucked up, it wasn't truly visible. So what's that like? I mean, is that hard to anticipate? Because you're not trying to shoot me right away.
Right.
The reaction time is a little stunted.
Right. So what really threw me off and made me miss you by a lot was when you asked me if I was ready, and I was ready, and then you hesitated.
Yeah, and then
you caught me off guard. So,
Right.
the surprise motion is, what really makes me get way off target when you grab it.
Right. So we've also done this where I don't ask a question, and he's just basically ready to pull the trigger, right? So what happens is we're going to be here. And it's not that I don't get out of the way, right? The majority of times, it's just that when you do that with nothing, you're not talking to the person, you're not, asking them any questions. The time from them pulling the trigger is much shorter. right? Whereas when I do ask the question, even though it's like a "Are you ready?" type question, what happens is he tends to pull the trigger well after I have pushed it off to the side. You can test this out at home and that type of thing with, you know, non-live rounds. But the thing is that that is a decent thing. We've used paintball guns with this. We've done sim rounds, and the result is normally the same. If your technique is solid, your hands are close, then what happens is you can strip that pistol away, or you can just not be shot with that first round. Remember, that first round will go off and the malfunction will happen on the pistol. Therefore, what happens is you might have a little bit more leeway. You want to make sure that you're squeezing the hell out of that slide so that it doesn't cut the fuck out of your hand. Like, I'm not just grabbing lightly here, because that will pinch on there. It still causes a malfunction, so you're still going to be technically in the game, but it's a little bit different. So those are all the things that I like to focus on just directly out. So the next thing is drawing from the appendix carry and whether or not they clear the holster or not. So we'll shoot up for that and kind of work there. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed that content, we have more videos over here for you to check out. For those of you looking to enhance your knowledge, make sure that you go over to eliteu.com, where you will have early release of YouTube videos and access to exclusive content. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.